I'm Tracy from Premier Therapy Solutions, and we're going to be talking today about rotator cuff injuries and shoulder impingement. A rotator cuff is a common condition that we see in clinical practice, and it's an irritation of any one of the four muscles that make up the rotator cuff. So here we're looking at a shoulder model, the right shoulder, with the collarbone at the front, coming through from the shoulder blade at the back, and the rotator cuff forms a large part of the top of that scapular area, and then comes up into the front of the bone here in the front, passing over. One comes from underneath the scapula, and they all insert into the long bone of the arm. Now, any one of these muscles can get compressed up in the joint space, and it's not only the sporting population that this occurs in. It can be overuse type injuries. It can be because of arthritic changes that happen up in the shoulder joint. Any condition that's going to close down or reduce the joint space in here can predispose to impingement in that shoulder joint. Now, there is a tendon that sits right in the top there, the supraspinatus, and that's the most common one that gets impinged in the area in anything where you're lifting up overhead. So repeated throwing activities, tennis, if you've played baseball in the past, all of those types of sports and that type of activity are going to predispose to impingement and rotator cuff injuries. We're going to run through some exercises and some stretches that are going to show you, if you have an impingement type problem, if you have a rotator cuff issue, how you can actually strengthen the muscle and how we can get that shoulder blade sitting back into the right posture, again, to avoid re-injury. So for the first exercise, you're going to be lying positioned with your arm hanging over the edge of a bed with a dumbbell weight. I would suggest, if you're just starting, or if you have shoulder pain, that you start with about 2 to 3 pounds, and then you can increase the weight as tolerated. So we're literally going to lift up, thinking about the position of the shoulder blade, pulling the shoulder blade down and back, and then bringing the elbow up towards the roof, and then lower down nice and slowly. So for the second exercise, you're in the same position. Again, squeeze the shoulder blade down and back to start the movement, and then pulling with the elbow straight back, so moving into extension, and then lowering down nice and slowly. Try and keep the shoulder blade tucked down, squeeze back. So the third exercise, and for me this is probably the most important for any rotator cuff injury, is we're going to move into external rotation while we're keeping the elbow tucked into the side. So again, with your light dumbbell, start with the shoulder tucked in, hand down in front of you, and then we're going to lift out into external rotation. And then again, nice and slowly control the movement down. If you are irritable or you have pain in the shoulder, you need to start with a light weight, because this one will be quite difficult. And then, as with any exercise, as it gets easier and you have no pain, then you can just increase the resistance by adding more weight. So you're going to start with a towel rolled up under your forehead, elbows at shoulder height, lifting the hands slowly towards the roof and lowering down. So the last one is to stretch to open out through the front of the shoulders, to get, again, open out and get the shoulder blade sitting backwards. So we're going to use a half foam roll, or we could use a beach towel just rolled up into a cylinder. Laying back, let the towel or the rolls rest on where the shoulder blades are. Bring the elbows out to the side, keeping them lower than your shoulder level. Leaning back, and let the arms just rotate back into external rotation. Hold the stretch for about 20 seconds, and then come back up and coming forward. Again, we're getting a nice bit of trunk extension, coming back here, arms, and let them stretch through. So we're getting a really nice stretch through the front of the pectoral and opening out the front of the shoulder.
Great.
So incorporate those 4 exercises and the simple stretch into part of your workout routine, and your shoulders are going to be in great shape.